nervous. I just feel like such a simple Jack compared to the rest of you all. Like as you play, or like talking about things that are just like all over my head. Even the poison talk, you guys like, yeah, like I figured I'll just throw this up to you, and I was like, oh yeah, basic poisons, yeah, totally, yeah, like
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
I know.
Welcome back to the internet world. We are streaming and recording, so everyone put away the illegal things. No, we're not doing anything illegal. We're all above board here. Yeah, we're officially in. I don't know if our single audience member may be joining us tonight. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, welcome back, Cody. Welcome back, everyone. We have some people still getting themselves set up and able to be on camera.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, I was talking before.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
For some reason, I didn't hear you before. Oh, Sam's got some like very fancy thing going on. Is that like a silk thing with like? There's. It looks like the dark side of Claire's wallpaper is basically what the shirt.
We planned it that way.
Amazing. You having a call before the session, and like, all right, this is.
If you haven't noticed, Claire's top also matches my background, so
right? That's true.
We really
it's fully, yeah, amazing. This is. I need to like make notes because we're like dreaming of doing like a kind of a season finale in person, and we have to do. I'm making notes about like how we can like make it super cool. Yeah. Anyways, that's into the near future. Linz, your camera's off. I just want to make sure that you know that.
Yeah, I do. I was just doing like some homework here.
Of course, all good. Okay, we have. I am here, says Abertajaj, 88.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I will throw something into the chat if I feel like people aren't seeing it. Otherwise, I kind of expect people, whoever needs, especially our Legion. This is a little bit of just housekeeping, but I'm going to say it on the air because we wanted to get started before I do our little previously on. We have a Discord group chat that is not being streamed for the public. It is for just little table talk for us to kick each other underneath the table, as it were. I encourage my players, please use it. It's kind of an opportunity for me to like see you looking at each other across the table and like get a kind of sense of what's happening because I'm trying to do a lot. It also, I think, lets other players kind of know what's going on. I think it's great to be like, hey, next opportunity, I want to talk to that NPC, or I want to have a moment aside with this player, or, you know, hey, I'm cool with this little like game we're doing. Whenever you're ready, like I'm happy to move on. All that kind of stuff is really good to throw in that chat because it just lets myself and other players kind of know how we're feeling. In general, everyone's really good about like not talking over each other, which is like the major problem being online, that you don't have to worry about as much at a table. But it means that like using this extra chat will really help with complexity of communication. Oh, and we have our resident Veda reading dragons. What? Dragons? Reading dragons? Playing dragons? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
big dragon
Veda.
energy.
Yeah.
Lord Veda. We got big dragon energy tonight. Okay. So in that case, I'm going to say welcome back, brave adventurers, and enjoy this introduction. I have not even copy-edited this from ChatGPT, as I was just like, oh my god, I have like an item list of 4 things. Tell us what happened last week. Welcome back, brave adventurers. When last week convened in our mystical realm, you found yourselves awakening in the enchanting Feywilds, surrounded by the serene beauty of a forest clearing, centered around an ancient stone well. In a twist of fate, you discovered Thad, who you believed lost was very much alive. But the wilds held more surprises. Little Boobo and the library cat, who definitely has a name that I always forget, creatures you thought were mute, spoke with voices clear. Look at how lovely that ChatGPT's really got that fantasy diction for us. A remarkable transformation occurred when Legion, a being now composed of wood, vines, and the very essence of nature, emerged from the well. It approached Thad and, with a touch of wild magic, rejuvenated his family's ancient axe, intertwining it with some worn metal and fresh vines and vibrant plant growth. We are going to discuss more about the specifics of that as we finish. ChatGPT, you're doing a little... it's not canon. Your journey took an unexpected turn with the arrival of the pompous noble Orson Posley. ChatGPT, you got some opinions there. With the flair for the dramatic, Posley announced his uncanny prediction of your arrival and led you to the mystical, majestic city of Versailles. On your way, you traversed the mystical glen of memories forgot. Aelric, Harold, and Orson wisely chose to ignore the runes in the memorial stones, but Arlie, Bubo, and Thad were drawn to them, unearthing buried memories from their pasts. Ooh. Upon reaching the grand gates of Versailles, Arlie and Harold faced the challenge of persuading the gate guards to grant them entry. Their efforts were successful, and everyone passed through the gates, laying their eyes upon the breathtaking gardens and the imposing facade of Versailles for the first time. So prepare yourselves, for tonight your journey continues within the walls of this grand city, where intrigue, mystery, and adventure await at every turn. What secret does Versailles hold? What allies or foes will you encounter? The story unfolds as you step further into this world of wonder and enchantment. Let the adventure resume. Welcome back, everybody. Chat GPT pulling its weight. As I want to remind us of our wonderful Orson Posley, I'm throwing these images up on the chat for anyone who is watching. We also have the character sheet for Legion this week. That is true. The chat's asking about it. It is available on our website. You can get through the Twitch channel. You can find the bio of Nunc Coepi, as well as a link going to the character sheet, and every character sheet, actually, so everyone can follow and enjoy what's going on. But as we come back to Versailles and Orson Posley leading you up the front steps, I think, let me just pop this into the chat so everyone can remember the glorious facade of Versailles. And Orson Posley leading you forward. Ah, yes, you see, my great uncle first made these gardens and opened it up into the wondrous facade you see today. Of course, it took many generations for the ivy to grow to where it now resounds up the first stories of the beautiful entrance building. Now, of course, you are expected in the grand hall, but I wouldn't see it. I think it would be uncouth of you to arrive before making sure you are well ornamented and clothed. So, of course, if you need, you can see my good boy Otis. Will show you to my rooms, my apartments, where you can find, I believe we have a tailor ready to get you into wondrous clothing, if, of course, that is what you desire.
Dad looks down at his like sort of destroyed remnants of clothing from the last fight. Like the only reason why his travel sack didn't get completely destroyed was he was facing the flame fawn, and I'd like to see Otis.
Yes, of course. Would anyone else like to see the apartments? Take a load off, as it were. I'm sure it's quite a long walk we had, isn't it? Well, let me see. He claps his hands, and out from around a low hedge, you see a small serving dog. Otis. Let me find. Yes, sir. How may I help you, sir? Oh, yes, Otis, wonderful. If you could show our wonderful guests to my apartments, where I believe they could find some clothing that should fit them, as we are going to see Leroy. Yes, of course, sir. If you would. He looks to all of you and starts walking off with his little cane in hand that he needs. He has like a small limp from an old injury. He leaves. As you leave, you see a small. Let me make sure I pop this in. You see a messenger tallies up to Orson Pawsley, quite slowly coming in. I will be you in a second. Yes, I just have a messenger. Obviously, a message that is quite fast. Let me see. Yes, what is it exactly? And he starts speaking with the messengers. Express mail. And young Otis just takes you. Right, sir. Sir, in minutes, if you would, just this way.
Right.
I follow him without protest.
Yeah, exactly. I also follow. Bubo follows without protest to see the accommodations.
Amazing.
I'm just sticking with my theme of being enamored with every little living creature in this place, and it's mind-blowing. A talking dog now.
Yeah. There's like little and there are still like little what would be kind of like a normal fauna are all these creatures like made of light and of like wispy material and like kind of glowing mycenae that have formed into little hummingbirds and butterflies, like little flower petals of butterflies that are flipping around, and they're finding you, Nunkwepi, and like, landing on you, and then spawning new growth that then flies off in its own little like flutter of butterflies. And this is just kind of like constantly coming and going, the life that surrounds Nunkwepi.
I'm like a walking acid trip over here.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Nice.
You follow good boy Otis, a little clip, his little cane, eventually going through these large, grand hallways. In Versailles, there isn't really like privacy is very different in the noble world. So it's not like a hallway and then a room. It's like a hallway that opens up into a room, that opens up into another hallway, that opens up into another room. And there's just people, the nobles, well-dressed and talking to each other as you go by, eventually leading you into the end, into a corner apartment, which is Orson's private apartments. This is the Pawsley estate, the last of a long line of, as you have been told, the builders of Versailles. Orson sees you, Otis sees you all in, and I hope you are all comfortable. I will return with the tailor, who should be able to fashion. Yes, sir.
This has been a very good job you've done.
Oh, thank you, sir. I very much appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Very good
His
job.
tail wags quite happily.
Yeah. I was curious. So, Sir Orson, his family founded Versailles. Who is the lord here now?
Oh, the lord is Leroy, sir.
And is Leroy also of Orson's household or a different one?
Well, I believe they are not of the same household, sir, no.
How did Versailles come to change hands from Orson's family to this Leroy?
Roll me an insight check, Harold.
Not my best look. 11.
11. Leroy has the look of someone who was probably told this, but was like daydreaming maybe.
Yeah.
So the there have been many changes of hands over the years, sir. I'm afraid I'm not quite of the proper station to relay all the details, but I do know that Leroy is a very capable and wondrously radiant leader of the court, and we all look grandly upon him.
Well, thank you very much, Otis. That was a very good job.
Oh, thank you, sir. I very much appreciate his long like coat is just shaking as his tail is like frantically pounding the wool.
How tall is
underneath
he? Is he taller than Harold?
No.
No. He's just a talking dog.
Just a talking dog.
Okay. Is he wearing clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a picture of him right here.
But he's quadrupedal?
Oh no.
Okay. Bipedal.
No. Here you go.
Dog. Because, like, you know, if it was a...
He has a little cane.
Got it.
He has a simple, woolen outfit.
Is there like anything like a ball around? Does that see anything that's like a ball?
I have an idea there, actually.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, sorry, I'll let him do that first. I was gonna suggest too that I want to just grow a stick and like throw him a stick.
Oh no, I like that.
You
I
can
like
do that.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna just.
I want to
reach
just
out
like
actually to Legion, and I'm just gonna like grab a branch and snap it off, and then I kind of want to like if you want to grow it out as I'm grabbing it off of you, like.
I definitely want to help with this, with a comment along the lines of like, let's see if this dog can operate in his natural setting. This accoutrements of this costume seem to be antithetical to your nature. So let's see.
Just because we have the same idea doesn't mean we're friends. And like I start like doing like oops, like this the dog is the dog responding.
He's locked in. You see Otis just like locked in. As soon as that stick comes off,
all right. I throw it down the hallway that's like out the door, out of the bear's room.
Yeah,
like
out of Paisley's apartments. Yeah. With a very clear, strong, very mechanically successful throw. He sees it go and like resists himself, almost drooling, and turns back to you and says, very good, sir. With your permission, sir.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Focus.
Yes, yeah.
Focus.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Where do we find the fresh clothes?
The tailor will be with you momentarily.
Break.
No, very good, sir. And he starts hobbling with his little cane down the hallway. And you see when he you could hear him when he gets to the end of the hallway where the stick is kind of, because it's this very smooth floor, right? So it like clattered and then kind of like just slid another 10 feet. When he finally gets to the stick, oh, that's very good, very good boy. That's right. And starts clicking back towards you and hands you the stick on his nice silver platter that he has in his hands. You also very good, sir.
Ubo very carefully conceals is kind of like he's not being an animal himself and being treated like an animal sometimes, like the anthropomorphizing of my being is not necessarily fully understood by some people. And when he sees him throw a stick to a dog, he kind of fights back a little bit of like kind of a, I don't know.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah, not cool, dude. A bit of a not cool, dude. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you want to roll an insight to see if you see it or whatever, but he's like,
go for it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm wanting to. So yeah, he places the stick back on one of the like entrance. There's like a very nice. Embroidered like metal pewter dish just by the front door for things that you might put down. Puts the stick like very gently. Very good, sir. Absolutely. Thank you wonderfully for the opportunity. And then leaves to go get the tailor.
That is completely.
When the dog, what was his name?
Otis.
When Otis leaves, he walks over to Thad and says, Are you gonna offer Bubo a rat now? Do you want to put a saddle on my back? And then he just walks away.
I'm just gonna say to Thad just quietly too, like, looks like he was a good boy after all. And just
That
sidle away.
Dad smiles and whispers back and goes, "I don't understand. They're animal people, but those are people that are animals. I needed to know what like that is a dog that is acting like a person, but like they're people animals. Does that make sense to you? Didn't you need to clarify this for yourself?"
Oh,
Are
for
you
sure.
talking to Aelric? Or who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Legion. I'm whispering back over to that after he's a good boy.
Yeah, basically any opportunity where I can see life in its most natural form brings me the most joy. So that did something very nice for me.
Amazing. Yeah, the kind of like that glow of the you could see like that the new growth kind of color and hue that you see from vines, kind of like, as opposed to the like that kind of the cold weather darkness. Legion's vines and just become that kind of deep green coming from underneath
Boy.
it as the life.
Coy,
Yo,
I just
yeah.
rolled a perception check to see if I could hear Legion. And I made it.
Okay, heard it.
I wheel back. Aelric wheels back and says, "Am I natural? Is this my natural being? Am I natural enough for you?" And gets closer and closer.
To Legion?
Better answer.
He's getting. I step right in between, and like, what? You're how tall? How tall are you?
6'6".
You're 6'6". I mean, at 6'3", I still am kind of like looking up at you, but I just stand right in the middle of it, and I go, "What does it feel like to be a survivor? What does it feel like to know
Make an athletics
you're
check.
going to live through
Make
this
an athletics
entire
Make an athletics check.
athletics? Can I make it a acro? I'm gonna. Okay, I'm contested. Nope, I'm rolling 4 tonight.
He picks you up without batting an eye your direction and jostles you aside and continues to close distance.
Oh, that! Get off! Jeez.
And as close as he can get to this thing without touching, I ask one more time, am I in my natural state?
Aelric, you have an interesting story within your bloodline. So I will say, yes, you are. You are on the exact path that you are supposed to be on. And there may be a proposition coming your way sooner than you may be ready for. I'll leave it at that.
Ah! You hear a cry from the
Aelric,
front door.
You can feel Harold just kind of reaching out, up, and gently holding your hand.
At the front door, out of this like kind of uncomfortable tete-a-tete, as it were, you hear a little exclamation from the front door and turn around and see a lovely tailored gentle bird with a nice hat, one of his own feathers coming from the top, and his own little cane. I see. I am Herr Ronington Snikes. I am here to provide you with all the tailoring you might need. I obviously can offer some of the finest tailoring and materials that we have for this season, but of course, as our guest, you are more than welcome to make your own choices.
Harley, help.
Who would like to be first? He looks to Thad, who has like no clothes on. Perhaps we should clothe the what are you? A monkey of some sort. Oh well.
Fine.
Oh, and there's a smaller monkey there. I see. Oh, hello. There's a bunch of you.
What's a monkey?
It's what you are, Dad. Get out of my way. I want new clothes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pushing that out of the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna push that out of the way because in my joke, when Elric picked him up and moved him, like he accidentally like I don't know dropped him on Arlie's foot just because she's like it's like below, like she's just in the background. So this is her attempting to take up some more space.
Amazing. Oh yeah, there's also a little chat there request that you can fit in if you desire to, Nunc Queppy. But yeah, here Runnington Snikes walks up to, well, the first person who comes up to him, which is the very eager Arlie. Yes, little one. And what are we looking for today? Are we looking for some of the brightest and best in our fashions, or do you have something you'd like to offer from wherever it is you are from?
Did you say the brightest and best? I could have them both. I could have both bright and best.
Oh, of course. In Versailles, there is nothing except the brightest and the best.
Then I'll take that one. I am a candlewick after all, so I don't know. You could do a bit of candlewick embroidery. It's just a little candle.
Yes,
Also, I don't know. Maybe there's a. I'm very dedicated to this god, and he likes tree, but that's not very important immediately right now. But perhaps.
Yes, of course. Give me your clearest description. So I'm gonna ask you describe what you want, what you're looking for, and then we're gonna roll. Harrington Snikes is gonna roll to see how successful he is.
And so, like, he's like making clothes, right? Like, he's like, or is he like conjuring them, or is he unclear?
Yeah. So as Arlie starts to describe, he like takes out a little tape measure with his that is like measuring you, kind of all the different proper measurements, and he has little silkworms in his jacket, and he's able to kind of place them on different spots, and they start spinning and wrapping, and they have different colors of silk, and they're kind of dancing across you and kind of weaving the material like out of this kind of magical dance.
So while that's happening, Arlie's just gonna prattle on. She's just gonna be like, and they told me that florals are in. So if we can work in some more florals along with the brightest and best, and back when we left Kryn, because obviously we've left Kryn now, but this is what was in style at court. Just really, just the big wacky shoulders, just the big, I'm sure you know, or your little worms know. And she just like, it's like, she's just like a kid in a candy store, or like Homer Simpson at an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Like, she's just like, just going, it's like too much.
Yeah, of course, yes. Wonderful. No, very accurate. Florals are varying this year. Yes, the pastels are just lovely. Oh, you must have heard that from Parsley. No, he really does keep a paw out for the passions. What was this, Kryn? Not quite sure I've heard of that, but oh yes, lovely. And have you tried the crinolines? Absolutely gorgeous. We are going to roll.
I need a cupcake by the end of it. Just
Can I also build her like a little paisley crown?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Just really the pièce de résistance with her outfit, just a little, and then also just maybe sprout a little one and try to like put it over Aelric's ear and be like, Bruce.
Cute.
Amazing. And so you end up with this lovely, like, just absolutely ostentatious gown with layers and frills, with flowers, kind of like your background, and fully done within mere moments. And as the final, like, threads are being finished on the cuffs, Ronington Snikes turns over to Herr Ronington Snikes, turns over to Thad and says, "And now we should get this naked ape clothed."
Um,
Yeah. I'm gonna ask because we're getting into like this is what is it called? We're in like it's like a getting dressed montage.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely getting dressed montage.
Let me see if I can Bubo still a little bit snide, like kind of like still a little bit irked by the kind of interaction earlier. He goes, "This monkey, he likes to dress like this," and he does like he changes. Bubo changes his clothes, and he has exactly what Thaddeus wears. His armor takes on the appearance of Thaddeus's clothes. He goes, "This is what this monkey looks like usually," and then
So
just
he's
kind of walks,
some sort of
and then
servant.
just kind
I
of,
see.
and this just kind of walks away and snaps it back to his normal armor. But
Yeah.
just kind of
Ronington
cold
Snakes.
note
Roll me an
unless you wanna
insight,
change
Bubo, or
that.
anyone can roll me an insight on this.
Okay. Did I roll?
I got a 23. I got a 15.
Yeah.
Amazing. You see a small singular tear of diamond just roll down the long beak of Air Ronington as he sees this very simple mage's outfit. And he reaches out a soft, feathery hand and just touches you gently, Thad, on the cheek. "I am so sorry."
Thad resists every temptation to reach up and snap the wing that's touched him, but he just stares and he goes, "Something that I can move in easily, and preferably will hide bloodstains."
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in order here. I just typed it in our chat. In that order, starting with that, describe for me what Herr Ronington Snikes devises. This is our makeover montage.
Thad gets sort of a jacket, like a shirt and a jacket top that both covers sort of down his arms. It's pretty plain, but the stitching on it is really nicely. The whole outfit's going to be like blacks and reds. It's less wizardry though, and he ends up sort of with the pants. It's very, he can move. It looks like he can move very easily in everything that's created. There's no heraldry on it though. There's nothing that shows anything about him being a turnpike or really anything that even. It looks like somebody who's not part of the nobility, but is like wearing something nice, if that makes any kind of sense. It's a little bit less ostentatious than you've seen him dress in his non-adventuring clothes.
Amazing. I just have a picture here of Arlie's outfit, by the way, that I am going to try to pull up. If anyone is able to type, especially, would make it really easy. Just like a sentence description of what you look like. We're going to use the magic of artificial intelligence to get some quick images here for our group chat. Thank you, Thad. Next up, we have, and you can be typing away as you go. I'm just going to be popping this in as I see it. Harold. Ronington Snikes turns to you after giving. He kind of. Harrington is. "Well, I hope this is more presentable than whatever it is you were wearing before, and of course I won't judge. You know, status is something that can be hidden by a lovely outfit, of course, which is why I absolutely adore clothing. But what can I get you, young little... another monkey, I see.
So if anyone cares to notice him, Harold seems very excited for this, and it's somewhat odd. It's somewhat out of character for him to like something this ostentatious and for nobles. But he goes like full period Regency with like one of those coats, and it's this dark indigo, but in the stitching, all of the floral patterns that are very of the moment. So like saying that you understand fashion without saying that you're a slave to it. A high collared shirt. I already said trousers, shoes with a nice shiny buckle on them. Um, that kind of like someone from Bridgerton, that kind of look, like very elegant but understated. This sort of like, oh, this that kind of feeling.
Nice. Herr Roddington's absolutely lovely. The restraint is something to be commended in a young sir, especially from the monkey clan. Your people are so often over the top, slinging whatever they can get their hands on.
Yep. And as he's being congratulated, you can see that Harold is shoving all of his various pointy objects into the various pockets of his jacket and finding places to put all of his weapons.
Amazing. That is awesome, and I'm putting all this stuff. We have so that's lovely. Herr Ronington, I'm gonna just pull this up for the chat watching because they have to see, of course, the lovely floral Puritan gown combo that Harold chose to play with here. Our chat needs to witness. And up next, we have Herr Ronington Snipes moves over to Bubo and says, "Ah, yes, and of course, the one who has an eye for all fashions."
Don't worry, I'll be okay. I'm fine with what I have. And Bubo changes his clothing into something a little bit more kind of formal, kind of shirt that kind of comes down and kind of a low collar. It's something that he's seen on his travels with regards to how people dress up for a semi-formal affair. So like apparently this is how people dress here. So this is as good as it's going to get, and I'm fine with it. Thank you very much.
Ah, what absolutely wonderful. Saving material. It's so vogue these days to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And he leaves you to go over to Aelric.
Elric looks down and then looks at Arlie and shrugs. Not because he just doesn't know what to do. He's never had clothing. Armor? I've never had clothing. Armor.
I really think you can't go wrong with kind of maybe sort of like kind of a styled cloak. I really think, and it would allow you to have all the movement that you need. That's
Harold. Thoughts?
I look good.
Harold does look really good. He's got the florals. I don't know if the florals are going to quite suit you, Elric.
Try something like this.
Maybe with a military cut.
Did you hear that?
Oh, okay. So we're looking for sort of a military floral arrangement. I believe. Oh, so what is your rank, good sir?
He's a general.
Also a duke.
Duke General, a lovely combination of titles. Let's see what we can come up with, shall we?
And so Aelric just passively takes off all of his armor and just puts it all to the side and wears, oh, that's pretty adorable. And then basically patiently waits in the closest thing that he can find to sit on that will bear his weight.
Amazing. No one has seen Aelric. People, the party has seen Aelric throw himself off the battlements of a small fort to ground a flying monstrosity. He has vivisectioned a warhorse, and no one has seen Aelric as uncomfortable as he is in discussing what he's supposed to wear. But when he finally does come out and present himself in his gown, he is absolutely stunning. And I just want to show, we are presenting this on Twitch. I want to show everyone else. This is a gorgeous, high-colored, very fashionable, with just a touch of the military, so they know, of course, what you are. With that, everyone, give me a little perception check.
I made mine.
You'll have
Do I
to tell
time
me.
to
I'm
say
just, I
something
don't see
before
it.
this perception
Of
check?
course, yeah.
I was told there would be
I rolled a
cloak.
19.
Amazing. What were you? Sorry.
I was told there would be a cloak.
Ah, of course. How silly of me. How could I have forgotten such a lovely piece? An essential piece. Whoever rolled over a 15 notices as Heronington Snikes goes back to Aelric to start crafting this cloak that the little library cat and little Bubo are both decked out in very small, noble attire themselves. Aelric, so Ronington Snikes does a little work on you. Yeah, Sam.
Boy, out of curiosity, when I see Little Bubo as my familiar, I want to pop him into an interdimensional. I want to like pop him away.
Okay.
And then I want to try to bring him back, and I just want to see what happens when I do that. Like I want to flicker him.
Okay, so he like pops out, pops back, like, I know. It was far too attractive an outfit. It's best if I leave it off.
Oh. Okay.
He pops back without the outfit, by the way. So, like, he was fully clothed in a lovely little, like, high-color ruff. Pops out, pops back naked again.
I feel bad about that, but also I'm like, I feel like I've just discovered something about the nature of wherever we are, so I'm just gonna like keep it.
Amazing. Aelric, not only is this massive robe added with like all these flowers around your collar, but almost like a paper mache set of wings have been added onto the robe just to like make an even more grandiose statement.
Oh, so the wings are part of the outfit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and like they move with your shoulders. Like this is a very like it's just this kind of like almost like connected so that like as you move they can kind of like shift and move to appear as if they're on your back. and when all finished, Runnington Snipes steps back with his little cane kind of pointing towards you. Another wonderful job by Sir Runnington Snipes. Ah! I shall tell the court that you are ready. You are absolutely astounding to view, and I will say that Orson Pawsley will introduce you in the grand ballroom. I cannot wait to hear the silence of awe when all of you enter. And he backs away, bowing generously. And then you hear a little flap flap in the hallway as he kind of walks and excitedly kind of like half flies, half walks down the hallway. So you all kind of, yeah.
Boobo walks over to Elric, and he, once he's gone, he just kind of whispers in his ear, "Do you think you can fight in this, or what is this? You're wearing a garden?"
I don't know. I left it to my family to choose. I feel very awkward in this.
I mean, you're certainly within the element here, but I have to say you're looking more and more like that guy over there, the Legion. Yeah. I mean,
Be surprised what happens
like-
when you give yourselves over to nature, gentlemen.
it's not horrible, but it's not horrible.
Should I take it off? Would it
No,
be
no,
better
no,
if I
don't,
just
no, you're great.
took
You're
it off?
great. I'm sorry.
starting to
I didn't.
think-
I didn't mean to make you feel. It's okay. It's okay. Flowers look good with you. Bring out your eyes or something.
I wanted actually, can I make a small adjustment for mine? I'd said some
Yeah.
stuff in the chat, but I wanted to, instead of, I want to work with the silkworms themselves and see what inspires the silkworms and like
Amazing.
allow them to sort of build me an outfit based on how they feel. And I'm just trying to tune into the silkworm bandwidth to build me this sort of natural costume and sort of brush off the sort of nobility. I want the silkworms to dress me themselves from their own, what they believe I should be wearing.
Beautiful. Yeah, like kind of just like speaking with these little silkworms.
Yes, be like, yes, where will you go? Release the silk. Yes, follow your impulses, my little creatures.
Oh, I feel so free. I've never had such creative freedom. They all like kind of just, yeah.
I wanted to have Arlie jump in on the interaction between Elric and Bubo, and she wanted to be like, "Oh my goodness, no! You don't. This is it's like a transition garment. You don't actually wear it once we get to court or once we get to a banquet or whatever it is that we're doing. After you're announced, then you take it off and you give it to at least 4 servants who then stand there holding it, waiting for you. That's the custom in Kryn, anyway." So I can only assume that at Versailles they will have the delegated court cloak holders.
Well, there you go.
Amazing. I've just shown this lovely the layers that come out of this silkworms. You see, like they move faster even for you, Legion, than the others because they have been unleashed creatively. And you see first like these multiple gowns in this image that I'm sharing was like the first layer and like, no, but it's far too simple. We should do more. And then the second layer on the bottom left and finally like, well, we have absolute freedom. Why don't we just do what's in our hearts? And then you see this lovely like, it's just like kind of these flowing wisps, almost like an underwater creature, this kind of long train. And this is all just like over top of your natural body, but so there's enough because it's all kind of translucent, like you can see even some of the flowers and some of the leaves underneath along the arms, and just adding the colors of balancing each other. And I can't talk about colors because I'm colorblind, so I'm not very helpful, but for those of you who see colors, it's great. Yeah, kind of like a mix between like floral and how do you call it, like a reef almost like underwater reef colors. So just absolutely gorgeous colors. And then you hear a little scratching at the front door. And you see little good boy Otis. Yes, that is you. That's what I popped in. Very nondescript, gentlemanly figure, with a lot of straps. Very anime. Little Otis standing at this. Oh, wonderful to see the party so beautifully dressed. We have my Sir Orson Porsley. And he steps aside, and Orson Porsley just carries himself in a new outfit, kind of similar. I think only Arlie probably really notices that he fully changed, not only his ruffs, but his jacket, and it's a new wig, but very much in the same line. Absolutely lovely. Wonderful to see everyone there. Oh, this is going to be absolutely wonderful. Now, everyone has come together in the grand ballroom. So if we could all make our way, a 10 hut, as it were, and we shall see, everyone is waiting for you to arrive. The great heroes who destroyed the dragon slayers. And he starts walking away down the hallway, repeating himself. The dragon slayers, no, the slayers of the shadow. Ooh, that's a good one. The dragon slayers of the killers of the dragon shadow. And now may I announce the dragon killers, the bane of dragons. That might be inappropriate considering the large one.
So Bubo was trying to look around and see exactly any sort of tells on the hallway, any sort of history that may be depicted on some of the tapestries as we are walking.
Cool. Yeah. Give me a history or a perception check, either one. Just let me know what it is that you.
I'm gonna do just a perception. Perception. Yeah, I obviously don't know the history of this area.
15.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Middling.
piggyback off that if that's okay.
Yeah. 16. Cool.
I was trying to one up me.
Yeah, so like walking down these grand halls, there are these massive tapestries and maps representing moments assumedly from the past. There is like a naval battle imagery. There's you can see like a history of different like coronations, different nobility. There's like smaller ones of just like people's kind of busts. You're in as you start the Pawsley kind of rooms or apartments. So there's a lot of different distinguished bears, brown and black, and even a few white faces. And some with like multiple colors, like white and black eyes. As you exit those apartments, keeping your eyes both Thad and Bubo, you see that other faces become prominent in other parts. There's feline faces, canine faces. You see constantly with a 15, I'll say that what you do notice is that you see a lot of birds kind of in the background of all these different faces, like behind to the right of a lot of some of the grander figures and like some of the more group imagery, the like black bills of a raven's face, or like the heron like you just saw. So while the mammalian faces kind of front and center change from feline to canine to Orson, these bird figures are regularly in the close background.
Are there reptile? There were frog gatekeepers. Are there any like reptiles that we're seeing in any of these photos, or like amphibians, or is it just sort of birds and mammals and stuff?
Yeah, reptiles and amphibians, they're more in like the battle sequences, kind of like within kind of like a soldier garbs. You don't see many of them in like the very ostentatious outfits that you see the feline and canine figures.
Could I do possibly like a nature check to see if there is sort of a hierarchy as there would be within nature within this sort of
Yeah,
court? I think that would
of
be a thing
course. Go
Legion
for
might
it.
want to do as well.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Give me a nature check.
All right. Hope I'm doing this right. Just a roll. What am I? Boom. Oh, not very good. 7 with my nature edition.
With a
Yikes.
7, you notice as well that like the amphibians and reptiles don't seem to be kind of front and center. That'd be nobody rolls so good so far. Not so far. We got more rolls tonight. Yeah. So with the 7, but you can try again in a bit. Like if you want to try again in like kind of the next scene, you can go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, earlier, I messaged you. I don't think you heard it, but I Harold rolled an investigation. 18.
I typed a response in the chat. Sorry.
Okay.
There was a lot of pictures
Sorry.
going in. Yeah, Harold, you didn't notice anything out of place in the apartments. This was, and just by the way, the group chat's really good for that stuff, Harold, because then I don't have
Then
to
everyone
go
got
into.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't notice anything out of place. The only thing you noticed was like a servant's door in the corner of that room, which those servants' doors are designed to kind of appear as non-doors, but that they can open like from the back so that like someone can kind of come in and put something down and disappear. But there didn't seem to be any like malicious or like overly suspicious, mechanisms or pictures with open eye holes or anything like that. As you get closer, going down a grand marble staircase, you start hearing like the murmur of like a watering hole. And as you get closer, you start to hear the sounds of kind of a mix between like the rutabaga kind of mumbling of people mixed with like the shrieks and shrills and yaps of like a zoo almost, and finally turn the corner into the great hall itself, and making your entrance for you is Orson Posley, who smacks his cane on the hard stone floor. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Now introducing the great heroes of the realm. You may have heard of them. This is their first time here at Versailles. They are the slayers of the Shadow Dragon. There's like a hush over the crowd as you see all these well-dressed figures turn towards you in this long hall, very clean. A lot of people holding crystal cups and glasses, little half-eaten canapes. You see herbivores, carnivores, foxes, deer, bears, all sorts of animals, all standing at your grand entrance.
Is anyone coming to us?
No, everyone is kind of like standing, waiting. But you can.
Harold nudges Arlie, pointy elbow, and whispers, "Do the right thing."
Always do. She adjusts. 7
Yeah, go ahead.
Bubo does the Owlin version of when a black person walks into a room and tries to spot the racist. He is going to just do a perception check just to see if there's like anybody in the room that's not happy to see us.
Okay.
Just kind of like, as everybody's like, and he's like, yeah, all right. He's excited. He's presenting us. Who's the guy who's giving us cut eye from the corner of the room, kind of thing?
Maybe,
Just to
yeah.
clock it.
Yeah.
Just to clock it.
Give me that roll.
Come on, perception. It's something I'm good at. All right. Well, 18's pretty good.
18. Okay. Yeah, with an 18, you notice that the serving staff does not seem impressed. And at first it's just the kind of like, oh, well, it's their job. Like their job is just to keep their head down and move. With an 18, with that eye out for like, what's, where's the opinions here? There is very much like, whether it's a disdain of you or a disdain of the opinions of the more well-dressed in the room is hard to tell, but you can feel something from the serving staff.
And are the serving staff of a certain race, or are they just a mixed bag?
It's a bit of a mix. There's a lot of dogs in the serving staff, and a few rodents.
Dogs and rodents. Okay, cool.
Before Arlie does or says anything in that moment, I lean down too and I place a hand on her shoulder and I whisper something in your ear, except it is gobbledygook. Like it doesn't make any sense, but there's a resonance and a pitch to it that's beautiful. And for a second, everybody who's wearing their medallion, like, it like feels really warm for 2 seconds, and I cast guidance on Arlie.
Hell yeah. Love it. Cast guidance. Okay, Arlie, looks like the ball is in your court. Or the court is ready for your ball? I don't know how to turn that around.
Oh my gosh, I get it now. Okay, yeah. I think it's really hilarious that everyone's like, hey, Arlie, don't fuck this up. And she's just like, Claire the player doesn't know. I mean, I don't know what our objective here is.
So you have a noble background, specifically, like your character,
so like,
which gives
knows
you
what she's supposed to do, but
it gives you advantage on like if you want to like roll to check to like kind of what the proper. So you could for example thoughtlessly follow the
Harold once again elbows Arlie and says, "Thank the bear and announce us."
I was getting to it. Okay,
so I would say, Arlie, if you want, you could roll like a performance.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Give me advantage on that. This kind of like reading the room with your background of entrances to balls.
God, for advantage and guidance. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh,
I was going to say, could I add my flute to it as well? I've got a flute on me. I'd imagine like a woodwind might help situation to back her up.
You could definitely do that. Yeah. Give me a performance on your flute, and if you get a success on DC 10, then that'll give Arlie a +2.
-1 with my charisma. Okay, this is gonna sound real bad.
Let's see.
You're gonna do great.
Oh, 19! Let's go.
19, and that's not even with the D4 of guidance. Amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yes. That gives you like a. So that Arlie, you get a 16 +2 because you succeeded. So that's you get. It's gonna be an 18. So Arlie.
I think guidance is not attributed on that yet. No.
Not yet.
Guidance is not.
I just can't find. Where do you find the D4 in Foundry? Just the individual dice in this cup.
Yeah, in the cup. Yeah, just do the cup. Cup
okay.
it.
And it's a D4, yeah.
D4 fizzies.
17.
So 17 +2, 19.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So this is one of those things where like I could kind of be like, you do something, or you can tell me what you do, and it is super correct.
But I want to do it, but I just want to. So she evaluates the situation, and she knows that this is the moment where it's customary to Okay, so I don't know the answer to that, but we'll just make it. We'll
You
just make
can
that.
you
So,
can at this point we can co-storytell here.
Okay, so
And
You- I
I'll
think-
say she's got some Zamfir as her backing track here right now.
what's our group called?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have ways like when we were mercenaries for Calaman, but then we started ruling Calaman. Like what is
You
our
entered Calaman as the saviors of
Vogler.
Vogler.
Yeah, I just
That
want all
was-
of our names. We are the saviors of Vogler.
Saviors of Vogler. Yeah.
The Duke of Kalaman. Don't forget that.
Got a Duke of-
We haven't talked about it yet, but
Aelric is officially the Duke of Vogler now.
no, the Duke of Kalaman or Kalaman or however you pronounce it.
Well, yeah. Would it be Duke? Would you give yourself the title of Duke, or would you be like? I mean, basically, whatever title you want to give yourself as leader
Whatever,
or ruler.
when you do a martial coup, like you just decide,
you
right?
can kind of
Whatever
call
the
it
title, of ruling that. Yeah, he's the Prince of Kalaman. Yeah.
or Doge.
No, we're not Doge. We're not Doge.
You could be the Lord. I mean, it would be very easy to be called.
Yeah, the Lord. Yeah, the Lord.
Lord of Calaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And remember,
He's a
Arlie,
landlord.
I'm gonna say with a 19, you were right about entering in a certain gown, and people are gonna take it from you.
Okay. So she'll be like, so she's just like, and like steps forward, like in her cupcake full regalia, and is like, the saviors of Vogler, thank Orson Pausley for introducing us to Versailles. Thank you for your esteemed company and introduction, Pausley, to your beautiful and magnificent court. And she does like a sweeping kind of curtsy. And then she's like, allow me to introduce who it is that graces these, I forgot my accent, whatever, these halls. We have, of course, the Lord of Calaman. And then does Aelric, what's Aelric's like full name? Whatever, I don't actually know.
Tiamaticus.
Aelric Tiamat, Lord Aelric Tiamaticus. We have Thaddeus Turnpike of House Turnpike and these are places in Kryn, which really does exist. I am Juniper Arley Candlewick III, the wandering cleric of the Clarist's Tower. We have, and then we have our friends. And then I feel like I have no idea how to introduce Harold, and I want Arlie to have a moment of panic as she looks at Harold, and it's like, what do you mean? How do you want? And like,
It's Harold.
and Harold, and also, and then what's Bubo's kind of like persona? I feel like Arlie would know, but Claire don't know what.
Yeah,
Bubo
sure.
is
Just
like.
and from the enchanted Sylvanestry forest, Bubo the ranger.
Yes, okay, and from the enchanted Sylvanestry forest, Bubo the ranger.
And
we
Bubo
all-
tries something. You know how Bubo is. You know, he tried to sing the other time. It's like his Boy Scouted thing makes him feel like he needs to do something because everybody else is so ostentatious.
Yeah.
So he uses a bonus action to turn his armor into this flowered, almost like a tree barky, kind of like a, maybe in honor of the Legion here, flowered tree barky thing, and he opens up his wings giant and flaps and kind of comes up into the air and just kind of floats back down into
Awesome.
place, just trying to look something. I don't know.
Can I help him with this as well, or would I have to roll sort of perception?
How do you want to help?
gonna roll
How do you want to help?
I'm gonna roll a performance.
I have guidance
with
as well. I could
with the-
give guidance too, but it also maybe just add to the flourish, add to the
Yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
of
I mean,
his
you
entry.
can't. We can't get two guidances. Just they kind of cancel.
Oh,
each other
yeah.
out. But you can describe how you help him. Like, go for it.
Well, I guess I'm playing the flute, so I can't do too much despite being God mode. So I'll let him.
Well,
I
like,
mean, you
I mean,
can-
there
you
could be
can
like
just-
little flowers that kind of just like, you have little flowers that pop off and turn into little butterflies that can kind of like circle around Bubo as like in a little double helix as he's like,
Yeah, little
flying into the
flower
air.
fireworks I can just shoot out of my shoulders like Iron Man, basically.
Amazing.
Just like give him some some dropping flowers around him for a little style as I play the pan flute still.
All right, 15
Amazing.
performance on my thing, which is not a failure.
Hell yeah. Arlie, yeah.
So we are most grateful to be your honored guests this evening after we slew the large lizard and found ourselves in your land. And that's how, that's
Yeah,
it.
there's
That's
there's
the intro.
you hear like a kind of a low rumble, almost like a thunder, and like at first like no one's responding, which is like there's this awkward like you finish with the lovely like nature of someone, like a noble who says what they mean to say and finishes. In North America, we do a lot of trailing off so that someone else can pick up. But, in England, there's this tradition of like, and I'm done. And there's this little moment where like the last note of your voice just kind of echoes through this large chamber. And there's like, did we do it right? And then this low kind of rumble of, and you realize all the hoofed animals are stomping on the stone. And because they're, holding little plates and crystal. And you start to hear like you see the antlers of the deer kind of go back and whinny, and the foxes chirp, a couple of the wolves howl, and there's this like massive cacophony. Some of the birds that are scattered that you didn't notice open their wings in solidarity and in response and applause. Eep, eep, eep. There's this like crazy cacophony of animal noises as this lovely celebration of your glorious entrance. A few dogs led by good boy Otis come and take your outer robes off and offer you slightly nicer, but in the same palette robes, just kind of totally replaced. I want Aelric to give me a dexterity check. Give me a dexterity saving throw, Aelric, as you are not used to dealing with clothing, or the size or scale, or being dressed and undressed.
I mean, he's used to getting undressed. Let's be clear.
Oh hell yeah! Oh cool. Okay, with a 12, Aelric, you start by like trying to help, and then kind of realize like with a little like you see Arlie, and you're like, oh, I just don't move. That's the answer. And everyone just kind of like getting it all off of you, putting on the next one. The less you move, the better. The less you move, the better. The less you move, the better. And before you know it, everyone's outer jackets have been removed. New jackets have been put back on. For those of you who are not experienced in court, it looks like the same thing has been put on that was taken off. For those of you who are experienced in court, it is very different. And once fully changed and ready, there's a parting of the seas, and everyone starts to kind of step aside, and Orson Pawsley takes his first triumphant step, clack, 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 forward with his walking stick on the hard stone, and this sea of fauna opens up, leading you forward to the end of the hall, and you realize that as the end of the hall opens up, there's a slight rise, and there is a lovely little seat there, a little dais at the end of the hall, where sits a small, furry creature. Crowned.
I shoot it. No, I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
Crowned
Oh my
in a tiny
lord.
little crown. It is only about 6 inches tall. Big eyes. And this, as you get towards the front, seems to be the regal audience that you are now entering. Orson takes himself to the front of these like 3 steps. The steps make it so that this little cat, this little regal cat, kitten, is about at eye height with, I would say, is Arlie taller than Harold? About Arlie or Harold's about like 3.5, 4 feet. That's about the eye height of this cat, even up the like 3 steps. So still well below the towering heads of Bubo and Aelric. And Orson steps forward, huge big bow, bringing his nose like almost fully to the cold stone.
Draco, are you waiting?
I slowly, I look around at the kitten, and then I look around at the rest of the animals, and I slowly start to bow, and I get down on the ground, and I just sort of face plant, like I just sort of.
There is a held breath and tension in the air as
Does that Arlie follow suit and is like, he started it's a chain reaction. We all have to get.
When I get down on the ground, sort of concealed by being like face down on the ground, I just very want to cast a message, and I'm gonna point it at Harold, and I just whisper, Harold, I'm gonna challenge it to a duel for Versailles. And I just keep on laying down on the ground.
Harold does the thing.
Okay. As you all, does anyone not bow?
I bow. Yeah, I bow.
Okay. As everyone finishes their bow, there's like a very soft like release of held breath in the space.
But Aelric's not bowing.
So Aelric is not bowing.
Aelric's not bowing.
Okay, so everyone's kind of like, okay, that's great. And once everyone starts to stand up, and everyone realizes, oh, he wasn't just late; he's not doing it. Actually, Orson doesn't even rise from the bow because he's kind of like looking behind him. His head is so far down, and like waiting for everyone to drop. Legion, are you bowing? Or are you standing tall with Aelric?
I can bow, but I want to give just sort of an awkward, well, I guess the world must be ending if cats and dogs are together. Something about the natural order. Not a very charismatic one, so I want to just make some dumb comment about the sort of hierarchy of nature in this.
Give
Slightly
me a little roll charisma. Roll straight charisma.
Black is white, up is down, cats and dogs living together.
Charisma check. Let's go.
What was it?
It's a 7. Sorry, that was a 1. So I roll a 6.
A 6? There is a murmur of like, oh, all right, I guess like that were that the only faux pas occurring may be the story for the next week. But everyone's kind of holding their breath, waiting for what's going to happen in response to Aelric standing tall. You see the little cat looks from all of everyone bowing, and then kind of locks eyes with Aelric, and there's this moment of like the kind of blinking game, and then the cat breaks the eye contact and says, offhand, almost to the air, but of course, the Slayer of Dragons should never bow before even the greatest among us.
I want to offer that before all of this happened, Bubo rolled an insight check of 17 on this cat. I don't trust the cat, and I'm just making sure that like I can feel, you know what I mean? When things are too cute to be true, kind of thing.
With a 17, this cat,
yeah,
the cuteness is regal.
It's epic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
it
epic.
is-
Okay.
It is deep. The cuteness
Yeah.
runs deep in this one.
Okay, word.
The cat continues to like kind of speak aloof. The little, please do not bend yourselves on behalf of me. You are great heroes to us and all the people here at Versailles.
Right.
Orson raises his head. Sir, this is of course. I know who it is. Of course. What do you think? I was the one who asked you to come and retrieve them to me, and for that I am very thankful. But for now, young Parsley, if I may speak to the great heroes that are in front of us. And Orson, kind of shamed and embarrassed, like backs slowly away into the rest of the crowd that have formed now behind you.
Thad if everybody else is getting up, Thad stays down.
Yeah, Orson has got up. That's the only one you're saying bow. No one else has said that they're standing up.
I'm
The
waiting
little
for
cat-
them to be
Well, let's
told, like
stand
in
up.
Kryn, they would be told. They'd be like there would be, something from the cat would be like, and now rise, you may rise. And so
Oh
she's
yeah,
already
sorry.
waiting.
He said it in an offhand manner.
Oh,
Maybe
sorry.
you didn't
Okay.
hear. He
Then
said,
yes.
he said,
Harold,
"Who are you to bow before
Harold
me?"
Rose.
Says,
Hmm?
I am honored and deeply thankful that you are here to be at the feet of me, just a little cute cat. What can I say? I rely
Lubo.
on the
Sorry,
love
go.
and affection of all of you here at Versailles, and I think it's beautiful, absolutely lovely.
Bubo stands up and walks towards the cat carefully and politely, and he says to the what's the name of the cat again? Oh, Lord Leroy. Is this Lord Leroy?
You can give me an insight check, or you can guess.
Okay, well, he just goes up to him. He doesn't have to know his name, but he stands up. He stands in front of him.
How
He
close are you
says,
getting?
I'm within 20 feet. Nothing that impolite, He says to him, I'm sorry, forgive the rudeness. We are strangers. We have just moved from a very terrifying and intense battle to this reality. And it makes us very wary of new people and new things. But you have been nothing but cordial guests, cordial hosts to us. And it's very beautiful. I ask you to excuse my friend and please join us for a drink and conversation. We are very much confused as to where we are and what you would like to converse with us.
You offer me a drink. This is so incredibly thoughtful. Not only do you kill the great shadow dragon of your time, but you come here into my house and you offer me a drink. If only others here had the respect that this great, beautiful, stunning owl has, we would live in a glorious time. I want to thank all of you, and of course, what a grand, brave young creature you are. Yes, you blue son of a bitch, you. I love that you are not cowed by title. It is such courage and assuredness in your own self that must be essential for helping this group of wonderful heroes in destroying that which you may find yourself related. I understand how hard it must be for one of the dragon to kill a dragon. But enough of this. We thank Orson for his grand successful mission of bringing together these heroes. and we thank them for their courage and bravery in accepting such a task which is so obviously beneath their abilities. In honor of the presence of such wonderful heroes, all the members and corners of Versailles will be made open and available to supporting our champions in their upcoming quest.
If I may, and I hesitate to interrupt one such as yourself, Orson, excuse us, may not have understood. A quest? We're meant to do something?
Ah, yes. But aren't we all meant to do something? We all serve somebody, am I right? That was a famous person said one time. I'm not quite sure who it was. Yes. We are all here to serve a purpose. And I can understand Orson is a very forgetful bear. So I hope that he can bring... So if the clarity that he was not able to bring, maybe my Chancellor Kokokni can provide you with some of the more, of course, uncouth details. But I would not want to disrespect your time or those gathered here. I just want to make sure that we are all present. Everyone, of course, wanted to see you in flesh. The tales of your wondrous adventures and glorious achievements have been fantastical and told for generations.
Uh-huh.
Behind him, you see who he referenced as Chancellor Kokokni is a large raven, standing very properly, kind of off to the side, with a little ruff, more Puritan in his dress. I'm going to show you a picture. Very kind of austere, cold, black eyes. Turning just like that, the way that birds kind of like fully still and then a twist and then still and then a twist. There's no sense of where the pupil begins. There's no white to the eyes. You can't really tell where he's looking at any point.
Oh, nice. Sweet. That sleight of hand doesn't exist. I wrote an insight on the bird and rolled a 7. So let's just forget that I did that.
Very austere, like unreadable because it's kind of blank face.
Well, from bird to bird, he's more readable to me. I'm gonna say.
Right? Yeah. He's got a poker face. This one.
Yeah.
How tall? It's about as tall as like a big raven. So,
Big ass raven.
18 inches.
Ooh, that's big.
There's a large variety in height in these animals. They're all pretty much just the size of the animals, standing on their hind legs if they don't normally, and in very nice clothing. And you can smell like some lovely perfumes that are coming in. Definitely a bit of musk.
So if there was
from
an
the
owl
mildew.
here, he would be like a regular sized owl. Like I am like this giant, peculiarly big version of an owl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You actually did see like 2 owls as you walked by. And they were like, in that turn of like owl to owl, like being able to read the blank face of a bird, they were like starstruck as you walked by.
Word.
Yeah. So the little little Leroy, the Grand Chat, continues. It says, "Of course, I have prepared apartments for all of you, which I hope will be properly accommodating your specific needs. If you need anything at all, I would love to offer you my personal assistant, but I know that you have made a relationship with one of our very good boys, Otis, and so I gladly offer you his services while you are here and preparing."
I want to ask very quickly. I don't know very many Leroys, but you wouldn't be happen to be of the Jenkins clan of Leroys, or are you just?
Roll an insight check for me.
Come on, give me freaking love here. Oh, God, horrible. 12.
With a 12, you notice behind you, kind of held breath in the crowd. The little cute cat in front of you takes a little pause and reaches up with one of his little paws and scratches under his own chin. Ah, yes. Jenkins. It is many years since I last heard that name. But of course, these newcomers to this place, they cannot know and must be excused, for their curiosity is like that of babes, and it is so cute. And who am I to undermine that which is the cutest? I thank you all for your curiosity, your generosity. I would love to share a drink with you. But for now, I believe I have a hairball to cough up. And he stands up, and a little spaniel comes and like takes his robe off of him. And underneath, he has an even longer robe that like unfurls. And two little hedgehogs come and they carry his train as he walks out one of the doors to the side of the room. Yep.
I feel we may have reached a natural denouement. Take a bio break.
Oui, monsieur. I think it is time
Also,
for the bio break.
Don't think I don't see what you're doing with these names. I know exactly what you're up to.
What?
He's referenced two of our friends' dogs so far.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay,
man,
yeah,
let
we're
what
going
you
to take a
know.
little break.
Let what you
I
know.
see the time is 9:10, so I'd like to be back in 10 minutes so that we can resume with the grand Versailles adventure.
Yes.
So I'm transitioning into
To where we once belong.
We are boom.
The pictures of animals riding other animals disturbs me for the implications of like there are non-sentient animals running around.
Who said they're
I was
non-sentient?
mentioning that. I think
What are
it's
they-
I think it's
He said
it's
they were-
an understanding.
Ah, got it. I missed that.
He said there were carnivores. They eat it.
I know. What do the carnivores eat?
good question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, someone pointed
Prisoners?
out that there aren't a lot of lizards, or no one's seen any insects.
Right.
Fully legitimate source of protein.
Maybe they're right. Yeah, I was going to say they're vegetarians, but if they're carnivores.
Also,
obviously-
I mean, you know, carnivore is just like something that we put on to them. You know, maybe it's
Yeah.
you know, maybe they don't self-identify as. I don't want to like
Sure.
cover, you know, what they're supposed
those
to be.
incisors are not necessarily used for tearing flesh.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not allowed
Or
to
they
like,
all
evolve.
like beautiful, like they all have beautiful, like kind of like
Flat, straight
like-
teeth.
yeah, flat shaped like cow teeth or whatever. They just have all great smiles. They're all like Colgate ad animals.
Yeah. So okay. So we are going into. I am going into, and this is. I'm throwing it on you, and I knew I was throwing it on you, and so I know there's going to be a bit of like, oh my lord. But today is a day of montages. We are going into a skill challenge, which I love. We are doing a montage skill challenge of like a training montage. So this is a reminder because we haven't done a skill challenge like in the new year as a group. And for our audience watching now and in the future, I'm taking a skill challenge which is like adapted from the 4th edition D&D, where we do go around in a kind of circle. Basically, everyone does a single roll with the same DC. They can only use abilities that they have proficiency in for these rolls. And it is like a shared storytelling. So there is a singular objective that we're all trying to reach as a party, and we all roll our own checks. If, as a party, we get 3 failures, then we all fail. Now, this is a little bit of a different skill challenge because there is no maximum number of successes. But I'm going to tell you the 2 types of things you can go for in our little preparation montage. And then we basically, everyone goes in a circle. You can only go once everyone else has gone. This training montage is for
Brought to you by the letter J.
the letter Leroy. This is about this upcoming quest that you've been given implicitly on arriving. You are able to, I can tell you that when you had a moment like outside of the room, Chancellor Kakokny, who is our Raven, told you that the royal pools, the royal bathing pools, have become fouled and are unusable. And his royal cuteness believes something must be tainting the waters, possibly at their source deep in the mountain springs to the east. Now, in this skill challenge, we have 2 things we can go for. One thing we can go for is preparing for the quest as a mission, which is like learning about it, getting specific preparation in terms of the quest itself. The other thing you can roll for is leveling up. And you will get a special bonus on a level up, which is you can choose a battle maneuver that you are now allowed to use with the expenditure of an inspiration point. So inspiration points normally give you advantage on any roll, a d20 roll. You can only have 1 inspiration point at a time. If you succeed on this level up skill challenge, you can pick a battle maneuver that you learn through your montage of training that you can spend an inspiration point to do, and you will get an inspiration point through your montage. But we are going to start this training montage with a little scene between Nunc Queppy and a player of his choice.
Nunqueppy.
Nunc Queppy pulls someone aside.
Nunqueppy was the
Oh,
first guy.
you're on mute. You're on mute.
Wait, I get to choose, or is this someone we were sort of insinuating towards there as well?
You get to choose any of them to start us off.
Okay. Let's start with Aelric. I'll approach him. He seems maybe slightly salty from the past encounter, but I'll just bulldoze in towards him. Aelric, I feel that you have some deep misconceptions about who I am. And you need to understand that the form that I am in, that carries me through this realm, is one that is infused with the essence of life and the weight of its importance. And I see your nature versus nurture and where you come from and what you're dealing with. And with the evil dragon god that I know that you seek. And you need to understand that we seek this same gem, this same stone. Because I almost lost my life via all the gods' lives 300 years ago in Kryn, when that same dragon, or I guess not dragon god, but the Thasius, meant to end your lineage as well. So we seek the same enemy. I seek order out of chaos. And you need to understand this. And the only way that I can help you understand this is with a simple gift. And I guess within sort of my little sinewy bits, I can just sort of unfold a few sort of vines from my arm, and I'll sort of unsheath this longsword out of my arm, essentially, pulling it out slowly. And maybe I'll even just have like a nice, like sinewy, natural sort of foresty sheath for him.
Cool.
And I'll just hold it to him with my head down. The choice is yours, Aelric, as it always is.
Coy, would I roll a perception check to see any inclination of whether or not I would know this thing?
The item?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can give me a roll. Give me an Arcana roll.
Yeesh. All right. It's a sword.
This is, I mean, the Arcana roll, but, you know, you have an eye. You have an eye for weaponry. Not only is the sheath, as described, like gorgeous. Now, do you take it out in the sheath?
I haven't even. Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you present it like in the sheath, or do you like take it out and then sheath it?
I'm presenting it with the sheath because I'm letting him make the choice of whether
Cool.
he wants this
Yeah.
choice to carry this.
Am I alone? Or where are we when this is going down?
Yeah, I mean this is it's Legion's choice of scene. So you could have found
We're
like
not in the courtroom anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
Maybe in an alcove, just like pulled aside, because I think this is important. I can feel his pain within what he carries with him still, and there is a symbiotic relationship between the two of us. And as I said, I admire your conviction to your cause, Aelric, and I give this to you in aid, because I too believe in that cause.
I have no problem with you. And Elric grabs the sword.
Okay. Nunkoepi, you can describe what this blade looks like and how it feels, and
I didn't look too much into this, but I will.
you can kind of.
Well,
I mean,
what
it's
you
like
can-
whatever you want to make it like. We know the mechanics of it, but if it's in terms of like
Mhm.
the description, whatever you want it to look like.
I think that it has to do something with where he came from. Maybe there's some notes of sort of his swearing of fealty, not to, I guess, not to Tiamat, to who's the other one? Bahamut. Basically, there's some sign of on the hilt, sort of the choice that Aelric made, and I think something that there's maybe even within it, the sort of hue of the sword, it reflects a part of your identity in it. That the sort of blueness of the
Yep.
there's a blueness to the blade, something sort of an ethereal kind of quality to it, like the potential sort of flames of your breath weapon, I guess, and whatnot. And I guess I will just explain too that this is the blade called Shatterspike, and this blade cannot be destroyed. It never breaks. And so it seems to be destined to be wielded by one of your same metal.
Thank you.
This is a destiny that you have to choose yourself, Aelric. I can't make these choices. I can't see into the future, but I see the sense of who you are and that you carry that same desire to survive and make your choices and to defeat chaos the same way that I would. And there will be a choice that you will have to make down the road where you decide truly which direction you go. And I hope that this sword aids in that cause.
I don't have many in this world. Few. I would die for all of them. We are not there yet. And this sword doesn't bind my fealty to you. But as long as you're part of this family, I will protect you as best I can and live our mutual destiny together.
Amazing.
Aelric, you don't need to worry about protecting me. This sword is a sign of the oath that you make to yourself. So I give it to you in hopes that you keep that oath to yourself and the powers that you will fight against in your own blood, because you do have the blood of Tiamat in you. And so the fight will continue. And may this be a choice for you.
Aelric,
think with
over the next
I'll abruptly walk
period
away.
of time that we're going to be doing this montage, you will officially be attuning to this magical sword, Shatterspike. I've put the rules into your character sheet, but what it gives you is a +1 to hit, +1 to damage, and when attacking inanimate objects, you automatically crit and can choose slashing or bludgeoning damage against objects. And the sword cannot be destroyed by non-magical means.
Before he walks away,
Yeah.
where did you get this?
Where is your home, Aelric?
And with that, Aelric sort of collapses through the recognition, the first taste of home he's had in an age. And he's on one knee with the weight of everything that's hitting him at this moment. Shockspire. He can barely get it out of his mouth.
Oxfire, that's the strip joint from where you came from, right? That's the is that
My mom worked.
Yeah, that's where mom worked. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's really beautiful.
Amazing. Elric, would you like to, or does anyone feel ready to do their first roll of this skill challenge montage? That?
Can I just ask quickly?
Mhm.
So we're doing a skill check roll, or we're leveling up? Is that what it is? Or we're
No.
leveling up at the end of the
This is
at
so.
the end of
This
the
is a
success kind of thing?
so the challenge as a whole
Yeah,
will succeed or fail. Now, normally
right,
there's a limited number of successes that you need, and 3
right,
failures and you fail. I am
right,
saying that you can abandon this or call it finished at any time as a party.
right.
Now, you still fail with 3,
Yeah,
but each one of you can choose to do your role as a skill check roll towards personal leveling up, which will, if you
okay,
succeed, give you a maneuver you can use and a point of inspiration. Or
okay.
you can use your roll to be like a group preparation roll, which we can like we're all like co-developing
Towards
stuff
succeeding.
towards towards preparing for this mission, like learning more about it and preparing and all that sort of stuff.
Okay,
So if you abandon it at any point and certain characters haven't leveled up, they will not be leveled up for this encounter.
okay,
He gives many shots.
You can do as
okay,
much as you want, but 3 failures is a total failure.
okay.
Um. So I think this is more. Well, that goes back to his room. So like once we're settled, and I don't like. Are we Are we all in the same hallway? Do we all
So
have
you
our
all,
own?
yeah, you all have like like a wing, kind of like a single massive hallway, but you've all been given your own rooms. Now some of these rooms like open up and have like little servants entrances that will connect these rooms because there's not like hallways between them. But you have like three doors on one side of the hall, 3 doors on the other side of the hall. Each of you has your own room. At the end of the hall is like a grand ballroom. That's just like one of the many that's empty. Thad, when you come into your room, Thaddeus, you find a small mouse in
Like a
very
mouse.
like a mouse
No.
in very puffy clothing with like big frills and puffs, and you almost don't notice him at first, but he's sitting with a tiny little like toothpick-sized rapier blade on your very large bed.
Like I'm coming in, and like the second my door closes, I haven't talked to anybody. I don't really know how to talk to anybody, and I'm in the middle of like taking off all of the things because I do want to see. I feel now that my body, like I've looked down and seen that my body has changed, but I haven't like had a chance to grok really that my body has changed. So
Yeah.
I was like getting, and I'm trying to find the mirror when I.
Yeah, you see this little figure. Ah, yes, it says. You have the
What?
air of a man who has lost the strength he uses to rely in a battle. I believe you need my assistance. And he stands and does a little flourish with his, like, a little flourish. Signor Snuffelito, at your service. I am the dance master at Versailles.
No, I don't want this. Not
But
gonna do
si,
this.
Signor. Assisi.
I just need a great axe. I'm sure that a great axe has been made for one of those bears. If I eat something, I don't know what happened to me, but this.
Ah, yes. There may have been a time when your body was able to wield the great axe, but now the little weakling muscles of yours must rely on a more dexterous technique.
I want to use athletics to try and punch the mouse.
Go for it, yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong.
Your DC is 19.
DC. Okay. No, that's a 3.
Okay, yeah, you do like a wild swing. He leaps up,
Way to
a little
prove his point,
backflip,
dude.
lands on your arm, and scurries his way up to your shoulder, and gets his little tiny rapier, thrust it through your earlobe, giving you a new piercing spot. You see, you rely too much on your muscles. You must learn the way of the soft and quick. It is just as deadly.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Signor Schnuffelito.
Senor Schnuffalito.
See,
I'm dead.
no,
We're in
you are
some
very much alive. He like touches your, like gets some blood from your ear that he just made the piercing of. You see, it is red with vitality.
What can I do to make you stop? How quickly can I get through this experience with you?
As quickly as you can wield a sword. And he jumps down and like kind of slides down whatever undergarments you're still wearing and lands on the seat. I shall see you in the ballroom. He does a little bow and then scurries under the door and he's out.
Like the mention of the word sword, my face like scowls. And I look at the what's left of my ruined axe haft
Yeah.
that Legion has sort of molded into a staff for me.
Mhm.
And like the idea,
the decaying axe head has been like wrapped with vines to kind of maintain it, but it's like a cracked piece of porcelain that is kind of taped, like it's just held there by those vines.
Yeah. There's a very effort, like just like whatever, like that is kind of very like he knows. Again, it's one of the king. He knows that hurting his family, it would hurt his family to hold a sword, but he doesn't quite understand. Like he can't really again shape to the why of that. But he takes the thing and he follows. He leaves the room. Sees Bubo in the hall. Says, "I want to talk to you later," and then tries to find the ballroom.
Hell yeah, the ballroom's at the end of the hall. So you have like 3 doors on either side, and then at the end, this lovely, glorious, empty ballroom. And you find Signor Schnuffelito there waiting for you. There's a rack of finesse weapons on one side, and he says, "Pick your weapon." And we begin the wonderful montage blade work of Thaddeus learning how to fight finesse.
I just want to point out, I try to go and I find like the largest looking thing that is still considered to be that. So is it an acrobatics check?
Yeah, it'll be an acrobatics check. Yeah. Let me
Oh
find.
my gosh, these numbers tonight.
So finesse would be a rapier, a scimitar, a short sword, a whip. And like we can what do you call it? Like skin the rapier, the scimitar is like basically you're looking at like a slashing or a piercing
No, I'm going with the rapier. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
it's gonna be like it's still the largest one, but it is a much thinner one-handed weapon.
Okay, so this is cool. Let me just take out my little like medieval weapons knowledge here. Old school rapiers, like flat bladed rapiers. Yeah, Sean knows. Really long. Like you're looking at like a 4 foot blade, like crazy long because they're basically for thrusting as opposed to slashing.
Heavy.
So they're surprisingly long blades.
My poor rolling streak has continued. I got an 11.
Oh no. Okay, an 11 will be your first failure. So now there's a combination here. Part of this has to do with Thad's. This is behind the curtain, but Thad's respecking with his revivification. Revivification. So you are getting Thad. You are like learning how to fight with finesse weapons. That's something that's like part of this respecking. What you do not get with this failure is you do not get to choose a battle maneuver. You do not get a point of inspiration. During as you kind of get to the end of this, there's like many days we're going to be going through of these like training sessions, right? We're in montage mode as you're getting better, and he ends up, like with the little point at your neck, standing on your shoulder, and then again, at a certain point, there's like a large gathering. One day you come in and you want to train, but there's this huge gathering of nobles and more people just in commoning outfit, and they are refusing to leave. And you realize after doing some talking around that they've decided that they are going to stay in this what you first thought was a ballroom, but they're calling a tennis court, until they have come up with a proper constitution. And that is going on in the background from now on. Nunkwepi, you get to choose your next person.
Okay, I will pull Bubo aside here.
Hell yeah!
And,
so tell us where you are when you kind of pull him aside.
There will be. I'll just lead him out. Maybe if there's a little sort of courtyard, possibly.
There's so many. Anything you can think of, there's 12 of in Versailles.
Okay, great. Yes, within the wild nature that I'll just take him outside, and maybe there's a sort of a quick look back. There's no charisma to this, so he's just like, check this out in his uncharismatic way, and sort of he makes a bad. I guess I could do a performance roll. This doesn't really matter, but just sort of grabs seemingly off a tree, like a piece off of a tree. There's some sort of like an illusion within the magic of the Feywilds. He pulls what seems to be kind of maybe part of the leaves away and sort of a strange bit of the magic. And you see that there's sort of an unfurling and that it's kind of a different, like a cloak. But this would be familiar to Bubo in a way that's very deep and nostalgic, I will say. Something about this cloak. And so pulling it aside, I'll just kind of hold it up for him and I'll say, do you recognize this, Bubo?
I'm not sure. It feels like I'm just making a guess here, but is it of elven? It's of elven make, or
Can I ask him for a roll?
Yeah.
Like I'd say either a nature or history, whichever you prefer. What's the DM something that would be some that like his save that he would have to pass here?
Both of those work considering Bubo's background. I would say it's like only a DC 10.
Perfect.
okay, well, it's great because both of these are hit rolls for me, so it's going to be a fantastic year. Let me roll. I'm going to
Don't
roll.
jinx it.
Is this? I'm sorry. Is this?
Everyone is rolling terribly today,
Yeah, I
and
know.
I want to
it's
level
good.
up.
Yeah, even me, I'm crazy. So, the Arcana, is it a magical item? So if it's a magical item, I can still roll Arcana to kind of identify what it is. You know, is that it doesn't matter because all of these things I get +0, so it's a straight up roll. I'm gonna say, is it magical? This thing?
It is. It is.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll Arcana just to be able to identify the item. Oh, Sacrament is a 10. I think I just made it just a little bit.
Well, there's something in your memory that gets jogged that reminds you of home, and that I guess within the magic of the woods of the Sylvanestry forest, there's something about it that feels like you recognize the forest in this, like some of the magic of the forest. And Legion goes on to explain, this is a piece of your home, Bubo. It is what some would know as the nature's mantle, but this one is specifically from your forest. This is a remaining piece that wasn't destroyed, and it's been made into a cloak. And I think that it's perfect for you, if you would accept this gift.
I mean, this feels like I barely know you, and you give me this wondrous gift. Is there something in return that I can give to you for to earn this gift?
How you can earn my gifts, Bubo, is to survive, and to thrive, and to carry on this mission to retrieve this final gem. Because I carry my faith in your party. I need you to find this gem.
Well, I have every intention of surviving. Not surviving is definitely against one of my major principles, which is breathing. I think that's very important to me. Okay, that joke went over like a load of bricks, but I fully and wholeheartedly accept this. Do you have any information as to how this works, besides being of a beautiful craftsmanship? And he puts it on, and oh mon dieu, it feels. And he uses the bonus action to like change the armor that he's wearing to like fit the like motif of the cloak itself, which for the most part, his armor, when he like changes it, he likes to be like almost naked with like, you know what I mean, because he's a bird, so he just likes to be like a bird, like full au natural, with like studded leather armbands that go around the biceps and the you know, the bracelets, and a belt, and you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, that's just flowery talk. But yes, could you explain to me how the schnut this works?
Well, I think that he would start to notice basically that like as he puts the cloak on, that he starts to sort of blend in with the surroundings and the sort of nearby flora, and it gives this effect of sort of lightly obscuring you.
Okay.
And it's go on.
I think he says, "Oh, I think I remember this. There was an elf in the forest of the Sylvanestry that wears this, and when I looked at him in a peculiar way, and I didn't focus my eyes, he seemed to disappear in the middle of the forest. He would blend in with the forest perfectly. No, this cannot be. This is the most wondrous gift you could give a person. Oh mon Dieu, thank you very much. Thank you.
You were taken from your home, Bubo. May this wrap you in all of its comforts that you long for. It carries the spirit of your forest within it, so cherish it as such.
So tell me, this is a cloak of godlike virility. It makes me irresistible to women?
I go to the Shockspire.
I'm sorry.
Whatever
Maybe
you want
I'm
to tell
wrong.
yourself, Bubo. His joke would land flat on me. I have just stare back at his face.
I reproduce in a very different way.
Yeah.
I'm a plant. I'm a construct
Yeah, exactly.
plant.
Bees do most of the work.
Yeah, so mechanically for everyone in the party, Bubo has been gifted the Nature's Mantle, which is a cloak that, while wearing, he can use the cloak as a spellcasting focus for his druid and ranger spells, as well as in an area that is lightly obscured, he can hide as a bonus action, even if being directly observed.
Okay.
And I've added
Yeah.
that to your character sheet.
Word to Big Bird.
Awesome. Who wants to go next? So we have Thad is already gone. He has to wait for his next round. So I'm going to go back to Aelric to see if he wants to go because he received the first gift. So if he wants to do his roll.
Sure. What am I rolling to figure out? You said
So this
communing
is
with.
yeah. So this is like we're doing the skill challenge. So it's a little bit of like kind of playful, collective storytelling,
Yeah,
offsetting
so,
my.
like,
So this can
historically,
you
I've been
can.
using
The
my
first thing is to. Do you want to do the? Are you doing the level up or are you doing the quest?
I'm doing the level up.
Cool. So how are we seeing? How are we seeing Aelric level up? If this is like a cool 1980s montage sequence.
Well, I think because it's a brand new sword with a completely different weight and something that is from his homeland that he is. I mean, he's never had a weapon from his kin or that has never been made for his race. It would require a lot of athletic work to try to figure out how to work it in its best use. Does that make
Hell
sense?
yeah.
And also
Yeah.
discovering like accidentally hitting a wall and the thing blowing apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. Or
I love it.
just like using it against a practice dummy and they just blow up or whatever. I don't know.
So I know this is terrible to say, but the first thing that comes to mind was that like bad training montage with Daisy Ridley with the lightsaber in the new Star Wars, being like, I'm gonna maybe attack a stone. But I think more like if you think of like the gardens in Versailles with these like ancient statues of like glorious people, and Aelric doing like kind of like movements and then hitting a statue and it exploding, and just like and we get some cool, maybe some glistening like some like kind of shea butter, or like we want to have some glistening, get those muscles showing a little like, something like that.
It is Shatter Spike. So
yeah, exactly. So this would be probably athletics or
athletics.
Yeah.
Would it be worth, and maybe you can just tell me whether I don't know. I would also want to see if I can infuse it.
Infuse it?
With my chromatic infusion, if it could take
hell
chromatic
yeah.
infusion.
It can. Yeah. You definitely can.
So all of that would be in this athletics check. Does it make sense?
Yeah, go for it.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Boom. We get the like explosion of statues. We get the fiery lightning coming out as it's trying the different stuff with the blade. You can choose now, or you can like take your time while we go to the next person. You do get 1 point of inspiration if you didn't already have that, and you get to choose a specific battle maneuver that is your new character character trait that you can use inspiration on, and you level up to level 7.
Cool.
Oh my god. Okay, wait a minute. We are leveling up? Like the level up is actually a level up.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Nunquepi, who's our next scene?
We'll pull Arlie aside as well. And maybe we'll be by a bookshelf and I'll just keep having to push her attention away from the books. Just gently sort of angle her away. And I'll mention that it's like, I did not, my words weren't with me when I talked about you using your words in this land. So I feel bad and I wanted to get you something in lieu of making fun of your obsession with books and words. So I've brought you this. And without any sort of accoutrements, I'll just hold out this this glowing mace, and I'll take also a history check.
Arlie's gonna be like, you know, you don't have to. I actually had no idea you were making fun of me. None whatsoever. Please don't feel
Well,
like you have to. You're not obligated to give me trinkets because I had no idea that you felt bad. Although I suppose I would. I mean, now that I see it, I would not like it.
well, nature has a strange sense of humor, so consider this an apology. And be may this be a gift for when your words run short, you have something else to resort to.
Sweet.
But I will still take a history check.
Not me. Like, is this me choosing anything, or I'm not making a choice? Is this?
If you want to identify it, I think it would be a history check. If you're looking to identify this weapon, he's giving you a glowing mace.
Right, and I need to do a nature check.
History, I think, would be more appropriate, just with some.
History. Okay, and is this part of the skill challenge?
No.
Is it unrelated?
This is a gift from Legion.
Oh my gosh, I've been very confused.
It's all good.
It's not great.
11.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough. So the light that's emitting from the end of the mace, it shimmers exactly like the signal fire at the top of the cleric's tower from home. And you also notice that there's a sigil that's the same sigil at the hilt of the high cleric's tower. So it's like a piece of home.
Oh, I like this. Thank you very much. I don't know how. No, she knows how to say your name, but I don't know.
Nunk
Noon Kopi.
Oh, Nunk Kopi.
Nunk
Okay, I didn't even
Kopi.
do it right. I don't know. I'm doing. Mechanically, Arlie,
Your
you have been
apology
gifted the
accepted.
Light Bringer. This is a +1 to attack rolls and to damage rolls with this magic weapon. And when fighting undead creatures, it deals an extra 1d6 radiant damage.
Cool.
The
Your thanks is taken where Legion now has just enveloped the cat, library cat, the tangerine dream, and then he's, oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure, whatever you want. Yeah, amazing. I'm gonna go back to the last person we gifted, which is Bubo. Are you ready to do? Do you want to do your skill challenge?
I would love to do a skill challenge right now.
Would you like to do a personal level up, or would you like to do mission?
I think I'm going to go for the selfish personal level
That's all
up.
good,
I think.
of course.
Yeah. I think. Okay. So what I've thought about is
what's this montage?
Bubo
80s
is,
montage. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, Bubo is very concerned with the fact that he doesn't fight up close. And he always is fighting from afar. So he wants to make it down to the arena where people practice their sword fighting. So what he would like to do is he would like to use this newfound cloak that he has and fight in a way that he can do strafing strikes. And when he hits, he moves around to the back of the person for a slight moment. It's as if he disappears, or in the blind spot of a mind, he's trying to use, because he still is a little bit feeling a little bit self-conscious about, whatever, about fighting up close. He's very good at it. His scimitar is very good, but he's not sure. So he would like to learn to use stealth in battle with the cloak and with his armor that can change look. So he sees the arena, sees the color of it, changes his whole look of the cloak and his glamour studded armor to look almost as if he disappears into the the ground into the sand and everything, and he faces this man that was fighting with
Signor
Thaddeus only
Schnuffalito.
Signor Schnuffalito,
Ah,
and he
a
says,
worthy opponent.
yeah, he says, sir, if you can see me, then maybe you can eat me. He tries to say with his greatest bravado, but still, Signor Snufalido, I am giving him a free insight check to realize, I think this guy is bullshitting a little bit. I'm going to teach him a lesson as what it is to fight face to face. Because with flying creatures, they're
this
always
wonderful face-off
from
between the
afar.
two of you. Senior Schnuffalito's like, I have made better owls than you. Have great indigestion.
There you go. Yeah.
We get some cool, So roll. What would this will be?
This is a stealth.
Stealth. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to use my stealth.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna go to the Foundry tabletop, and I'm gonna hit stealth. What's the DC? Do we know what the DC is?
No one's asked.
You don't know. We don't know. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna roll a stealth DC here. Let's see what happens. Did it work?
26.
Okay, 26. Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. We get this cool like popping out of nowhere, putting Schnuffalito on point. He's like, yes, you use the shadows as your ally. Very clever. And you get to choose. You're going to get a point of inspiration. You get to choose a battle maneuver that is tied to that point of inspiration, moving forward, and you level up to level 7.
It's sacrament.
Hell yeah!
Well, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah,
I just need
go
to
for
ask a quick question.
Please.
Sorry, home players, home viewers.
Not at all.
Because I still don't understand after.
I'm making shit up as we go along. No. Yeah.
So, is an archetype feature the feat? Is that what that means? Where do the feats come from?
Oh, because you're a fighter, so you get a special feat at 7. Is that right? Or
yeah, I get a martial archetype feat. So do I just choose it from the feats? Is that what that means?
You know what, Koi? Because I've already finished, I'm gonna talk to him separately while we can move on. Because it's already 10:07.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in the chat. Okay.
Amazing.
We'll work through it.
Thank you. Cool.
Just ask me a question in the chat.
Yeah, cool. So let's move on to Legion. Next person. You have, I think, only one more person left.
I think there's 2 still.
2. Okay.
It's Harold and Thaddeus, but I'll pull Harold aside here.
Cool.
And just, you're a brisk one, aren't you, Harold? So I'm not gonna mince words or be sentimental with the others because I know that you don't care for that. So here, and I'll just pull out. It's like a Christmas present, but it's like wrapped in sort of foliage, basically. But it's, even though it's like cool that it's foliage, you can still tell that it's sort of shittily wrapped. And I'll just hand it to Harold.
Harold hesitantly extends his hands like he's taking a bomb that's about to explode, and takes the present from Legion. Says, "Thank you." Should I? He opens it. He opens it.
Consider this a gift from the Knights of Solamnia. Another piece of home. And this doesn't take any recognition, but it's just a pair of really sexy boots. Well, not like sexy boots, but very well made, a very sort of supple material. Like a silvery sort of green color, I will say. And there's no other accoutrement, so I'll let our DM tell us what it is.
Mechanically, I've thrown it into your character sheet. You have just received the boots of elven kind. While you're wearing these boots, Harold, your steps make no sound, regardless of the surface you're moving across. You have advantage on stealth rolls, and any checks that rely on moving silently.
It's not personal. I don't trust gods. And I have no way to know if you are ever who you say you are. Gods of my people don't ever want to meet him.
Do you believe in those gods, Harold?
Well, I didn't up until very recently, but here we are.
Not to sound sentimental, but do you believe in your friends?
I believe that I can rely upon them.
Then let that be your guide. Swear off
What is
every
the
god
meaning?
if you must.
What is the meaning of this gift?
Harold, despite what you think you know about me, or what you believe, in this current form, all I care about is survival. And through your group, I have learned that I can survive through all of you. That all of you represent the best versions of what the gods should be. And so I believe if you think that there is a god that should be eradicated, we can find the stone within me and destroy it now if that's what you see fit. But you need to believe in your group and the cause of the gods and where that takes you. Let that guide you. The decision will come when you will have to know what to do about this final gem that we are finding. And I, in my current form, trust that you will all make the right decision. So let this be a means to help you make those decisions, to help you cross off any more names off of your list. Whatever you see as destiny or faith, let these boots help walk you there. And I will leave you with that.
Okay.
Abruptly walk
Amazing.
away.
Hell yeah. Amazing. We're going to continue with this little pattern we've done. The last person who received a gift was Arlie. Arlie, you can choose to roll towards leveling up yourself or towards advancing this larger objective in whatever way.
When you say advancing the larger objective, that means
Mhm.
just like contributing a role, but not getting to level up. But the role
So-
contributes towards a success, so everyone else can keep their level ups.
Ev-
Or
so
so that the
everyone
next
keeps
person
whatever
can
they've
join.
gotten. Everyone keeps whatever they've gotten. If we get 3 total failures, we have 1 so far. Then there's going to be a massive there'll be a massive storytelling narrative shift to
Okay.
represent that group failure. By choosing to level up, we already have 2 people who've leveled up. They will keep that no matter what. The question is now whether or not, how prepared we are going to be in our group montage 1980s, 1988 action film for this upcoming kind of quest. Now, if you roll towards trying to learn more about or prepare for the quest, that's going to be like a knowledge or at the moment you haven't done anything, so it's going to be a knowledge-based success. But it's going to be things that will help you as a group be more prepared in the kind of Sun Tzu Art of War type of preparing for an encounter, preparing for a battle, right? Now, being leveled up is also getting more prepared, right? Like that does count.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Do we only get one of these?
No, you go as long as you want.
This ad infinitum, right?
Yeah, if we get 3 failures,
Okay.
it all ends. You keep whatever successes you got, but it's over.
So the way that I see it is, I mean, if I'm just going to offer strategy to the team, table talk here a little bit, you opt for level up. You go with your strongest ability. Like for me, stealth was my strongest. I got +10 for it. So like I'm going to go with stealth. I'm going to figure out some way to make a stealth thing to try to win a stealth thing to get my level up, and then take our chances with our second one, with our second best thing towards the goal of like preparing for this thing. I feel like that's like for those who haven't gone yet, and maybe if you're still asking questions, you just go, hey, what's my biggest plus that I'm proficient in? I'm going to use that, create a story to do that, to get my level up, and then do the second best one when the time comes for preparing for our journey. How's that sound?
I think I get it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
If you're thinking about it like a movie, do you want to be like, are we watching a montage of Arlie doing like this personal training stuff and getting herself better? Or are we watching her doing more of a like narrative-based investigation, research, stuff
If
that's
I'm
like
being,
helping
like-
the upcoming next chapter of your journey?
Yeah, like if I'm being like faithful to the character and not like
Mhm.
metagaming, which
Yeah.
like is a choice that I guess I have to make right now. But
Mhm.
like the character would, I mean, and not, I'm not, no shade to metagaming. I want to know, I want to play smart, but I think that she would run around she would be like, I'm at court. I'm going I'm gonna go find, like it's just gonna be like she's in her element. It's
Hell yeah.
like for the first time, like in the game that we've like, I mean, I know that there have been court moments, but this
Yeah,
is like,
right?
this is you know, and whether or not like a fairy court is as relevant as like, you know, as meaningful as the other courts, like she might have to, she's not that bright, so she might not realize that like gaining clout here is kind of useless or pointless. But I
Claire,
think
she can do that in service of leveling up. You just need to frame it up that way, you know?
It's true.
What Arlie
Okay.
tends to do anyways.
I mean,
A knowledge
and-
cleric gaining a level for
Yeah,
gaining
that's it.
knowledge makes sense to me.
And-
You're a knowledge cleric.
okay.
and the Lindsay, you know, whatever guy, the thing that you gain is you gain your first 4th level spell, which is gonna be pretty big deal for you. You know, you're gonna have, for the first time, you're gonna be casting the most coolest new spell that you're gonna get to use. So that's what you get, because at 7th level, cleric doesn't get much more. It doesn't get anything more than a 4th level spell, and like a 4th level spell is big. It's your first, you know. So that's
Okay.
what you're going for. If that tickles your twiddle, then go for it. If not,
All right.
but I still think that you should go for
So
the
we're
level,
gonna
because
say-
you still can do the rest. Yeah.
So Claire, we're storytelling together. We're creating together whichever way we want to go. Obviously, it's all going to fit in your character. The nature of your role and the skill that you choose is going to be whether it's towards Arlie leveling up or towards the party being more prepared for the upcoming quest.
Okay. So yeah, I guess
But they can both the activities of those two things can be almost identical.
Okay, so then yeah, that sure. Let's go with this story. Like she's still, yeah, she's doing what I described. She's
Mhm.
thriving.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll bring that to a level up if we can.
Do a level up. Yeah, that's totally cool. That's cool. So in that case, what skill are we gonna choose?
Insight.
Yeah.
Because she's at court and she's just running around being like, "Oh, pray tell, is that exactly what he said?" And like,
Amazing.
just, like, like her whole thing is just like like she's like collecting dirt. She's also
I love this.
learning.
Yeah, I love this. So it's like we like cutting from like Bubo doing like this crazy battle against like a tiny rat, little mouse Snuffalito. Thad having his like fight between Snuffalito. Aelric just smashing pillars and statues outside, and cutting to like little like a harpsichord, and Arlie's like, "Is that what he said? I don't believe it. It's incredible. Oh yes, no, what do you? Oh, I would love one of these. Yes, of course. Oh, this is wonderful. Like, yeah, is that juniper berries? Yeah,
Exactly.
hell yeah,
And, like,
yeah, for sure. Give us a roll for your insight then.
all right. Let's do this. I clicked it. I don't see it.
14 plus equals 22. 22 is a success. So you are going to get to choose a maneuver from that list. You can choose it tonight or throughout the next week. You get a point of inspiration. So you have a point of inspiration, which you can choose as normal, or you can choose it on that special battle maneuver. You also, because this is your character trait and you're kind of knowledge-based cleric, and this is what you're doing, you learn through all this talk that a bunch of these commoners have gotten a few of the like lower class nobles and some of the clergy, and they've holed themselves up in the tennis court and they're refusing to leave until they craft a constitution. But they're a bunch of like unorganized commoners, so they're having a lot of trouble writing even a first draft of the constitution. And a lot of people don't think this is really going to go anywhere. But you also know enough about how power works that if this does go somewhere, it could have some major impacts.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you. Legion. We got your last one.
All right. I'll just ungracefully stomp on over to Thaddeus.
Sure.
Thaddeus, come here. Come here.
Thaddeus turns around from oddly the book that he's reading, and as he turns, the rapier that's on his side now, without even thinking about it, knocks over a piece of porcelain on a tabletop behind him, and he kind of, yeah.
Then my gift comes in perfect time. You, my good boy, are the embodiment of pure misfortune. And so I give you a gift to try to slowly and gently turn the tide in your favor. And I will just pull what seems to be just sort of a stone out of my chest, but it's attached to some tethered sort of vine-like cords, and then I'll just pop it, and it sort of forms a necklace basically. And I'll just, even without him asking, kind of walk up behind him and pull his long hair away so I can tie it. Maybe I'll hold his hair in my mouth so I can perfectly tie his necklace up. And I'll just back up and say, how does it feel?
To be honest, the last time you gave me a gift, you might have doomed the entire planet. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. You. I'm working on my anger.
For everyone, including Thad, so just
Yeah.
to let you know, you just were given a stone of good luck, which, when on your person, gives you a +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws.
Ooh. Is that? Did you put that in my character sheet, or is that a thing?
It's now on your character sheet.
Oh, amazing.
That's sexy, man. That's a good one. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
And then I'll be like, oh, and also look, I etched a little picture in it for you. And if he takes a look at the picture, it's actually like him dying to the dragon. It's like that moment. Then I'll just give him it's okay now. It's okay.
Oh my god.
It won't happen again. It won't happen again. I hope.
I take it. I look at him. Thank you for your generosity, and I hope when you're back inside of yourself, you can maybe vote to let the Krampus out sometime that's a thing. But thank you for this. I appreciate the gesture, and you're a good one. I'll miss you. And
I'll pat wherever the
walk-
Krampus stone is and say I'll let him know.
Actually, just to honor Krampus's choice, the Krampus stone is the asshole. That is where the Krampus chose that the stone is going to be.
I'll just pat
Yeah.
my asshole.
Yeah, that was a canon decision. Thank you. The previous receiver of gift is Harold. Harold, are we doing personal level up? Are we doing mission? A more like broad mission roll. What are we going for?
Harold's gonna roll to level up.
Hell yeah.
Harold,
You're the best. Whoa, nothing's ever gonna bring you down. So what's our montage? 80s montage styles.
Harold. I'm trying to think. Sorry, I should have been thinking about this.
It's all good.
So
I'm just gonna like give you
that
the
we're
imagery. So
playing.
we got like exploding stone pillars of like gorgeous like naked bears and bucks just like standing like holding like apples as a massive sword cleaves through it and sends it into dust with electric energy and Aelric's hand still wearing his like really nice courtly outfit because he's getting into clothes. We have Arlie just like talking up a storm with Crystal, grabbing a canapé as someone comes by and be like, oh yes, I know, I totally believe that, yes. Bubo doing some cool fighting, like hiding and spinning around, doing some stuff. Thad is like fighting also with Snoofalito, just his constant like, again, it is not good enough, again. And we cut to Harold.
So Harold, is also a talky character, and so Harold's gonna go and find Otis, and Harold brings Otis out of the main Versailles grounds and kind of talks him into giving him a tour of like the real area.
Okay.
And then when he finds the pub, he sits with Otis and buys him a drink and just starts plying him, and he buys him another drink and he buys him another drink, and I don't know, Harold's just still on the same beer, but it just seems so natural, and I want to persuade Otis to tell me how it is that this tiny kitten is now ruling Versailles. Like, I want the real juice here. What's
Cool.
going on?
Yeah. Amazing. Give me a persuasion roll. 22. That's a success. Okay, so you're going to be able to choose you're going to get an inspiration point. You get to choose a battle maneuver, which you can use by expending an inspiration point. Now, these battle maneuvers, by the way, you guys have these forever now. They are accessible through inspiration, but you have them forever. They're part of your character. They're your like.
Is that anything from the linked list or just what you screenshotted?
Anything from the battle maneuver list.
Okay.
Yeah, from the battle maneuver list. What you learn after plying Otis with a bunch of drinks is that this is the feline, the Le Grand Chat, the little Leroy, he's been on the throne for a while, but that there have been changes for who's been in charge. Most recently, of all people, the canines sat on the throne of Versailles, and the heir apparent to the canine lineage is none other than good boy Otis himself.
So why aren't you? Okay, cool.
Cool. Power in politics and power. Okay, so Legion, you are done with your gift giving. So we need to finish off with. Has everyone rolled a single? I have 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 rolls so far.
Only
Legion-
fail.
Nat 1, 2 failures. No, we're not doing
very
death throw
good.
style. We're not
Yeah.
doing with 2 failures, 2 successes. But anyone can try again now because we've gone through a full round, so we can start at the beginning and do a circle, or we can just kind of do anyone next. But Thad,
Well, yeah,
It's 10:30, buddy. We might have to roll it down, man.
yeah. I
we
think this
are
one's gonna be
10:30.
the last
Okay.
one. I think I should get one more attempt, which I'll probably add our second failure to. But so Thad was actually reading a book because for the first time, like every other time he's tried to cast a spell higher than first level, he's just ended up raging. And so this is like actually casting Fireball was really bizarre to him.
Yeah.
And so he's been poring over his spell book. And Thad was not in Dunce magic classes. He's actually one of the fastest people that ever got through his thing, through his Wizard Initiate test. So he's just going to pour himself into his spell book and the library, trying to now really fully grasp everything that he was taught and what people pennies dropping as it were.
Yeah.
For Sean and
This is going to be
Cody.
your Arcana check.
And before I do it, because I read through the beginning of it, I remember that I can actually cast guidance on myself. So not only am I going to get the +1 bonus from the Lucky Stone, but I do get to add a D4 to this roll,
Hell
which is
yeah.
going to be.
You might need it. You might need it. So
That's
+1
+1,
makes
so
it's
that's
11.
12.
+1 is 12, or
Oh my gosh. 12, 14.
14. That's just a success. That is just a success.
Oh. I
Amazing.
was thinking
So
15.
Thad gets a level up. So I believe 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone gets a level up. So that's great. So we're gonna come back to finish this skill challenge next week. Everyone choose your battle maneuver that you want to be part of that cool skill that you learn that you can pull out when you have inspiration. Everyone gets a point of inspiration. Everyone got some wonderful gifts from Nunquepi, from our Legion. Cody, thank you so much for joining us. This is unfortunately our last week with Cody because I missed a week I was super sick 2 weeks ago. But we will
Way to
have
be
you
human,
back.
Goy.
We
Way to be
always
a
want to
fucking
have you
human.
back, Cody. Please, yeah, whatever. We
You're
are the
fuck-
weakness of the
you're
flesh.
fantastic.
Cody, that was great, Cody.
Yeah,
Should
yeah.
just-
Thanks, gang. Yeah, no, like I was saying in the chat, I'm like, I was overcompensating with my research and all your characters to try to just cover up that I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I'm just like
Yeah.
blowing your
It was
socks, like, yeah,
amazing.
well,
And
No,
I
yeah,
think
we'll get you
really
back,
good,
man.
dude.
We'll get you
Yeah.
back.
Incredible.
everyone
I
was
would love
hit
to like
right in
play in
the
a
feels.
campaign too. That's because it's funny watching everyone too. That there is like even sort of mannerisms of character and just like that sort of dexterity, like the mental dexterity that you need for D&D to sort of think on your feet within the sort of stats and what you can do, and like it's just sort of like that improv, right? Where like when you're first doing it, it can kind of fall flat a little sometimes, and then there's other times where you can really sort of thread the needle. But
Yeah.
it definitely is like a skill that can be developed. So
Hell
Yeah. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well,
thank
you for
everyone
having
has
me, too.
gifts. I'm sure everyone's gonna remember you when these gifts come into play and like
Yeah,
make that
exactly.
essential difference. There's gonna
Yeah.
be a shout out. We're gonna be, oh, thanks so much, man. That thing saved me this one time. I just got the one for my luck stone, or
It
being able
just
to
happened.
create some
Apparently, it
inanimate objects.
literally just happened.
So great. Thank you so much. From our chat, we have
Wait.
great job, Cody. Hope they return in the
Oh,
future
thank
for
you.
tree hugs and hair flowers from our chat.
My coworker is is watching the stream. That's
Oh,
great.
no way. Yeah. Hey, Claire,
Nice.
Paul here. We see. If that's the Paul I think it is, that might be the Paul coming back in a few weeks. But-
That's
All right, nice.
Paul from the train, I think.
okay, a
Paul.
different Paul. A different Paul.
Good.
I'm showing
All
my
right.
hand.
Only make curtain calls.
But this is one of the few times we've actually gone to our full end of our session. Thank you so much. Next week we'll be coming back with a bunch of level 7 characters. We
Yeah.
have this finish up this skill challenge. You can abandon it at any time, but 2 more, and there's going to be a major shift. And then, of course, the lovely quest that little Leroy Legrand Chat has voluntold you that you're doing. So
All
thank you
right.
so much. And with that, I am going to sign us out and stop streaming if I
Everyone,
can.
thank
Yes.
you again
Right on.
for all your strong